Welcome to the G.A.B. This is G.A.B.
They should have never gave you platforms.
Y'all know what segment we about to get into. We about to get into the SAF segment. And I had to talk about this right here because this actually ties in to the theme that I talked about earlier of replacement theory. And the movie I'm going to talk about, which actually was a documentary, is called Our Father on Netflix. And this was wild. I was like, oh my God, what? Holy Harry. All right. So, essentially, this was about this dude. He was a fertility doctor. And he was giving women his semen without their consent. I'm going to deep dive into it more after I get past these stats. All right? You feel me? I'm a stat teacher, so let me hit y'all with the stats. IMDb gave it a 6.6. In Rotten Tomatoes, well, these niggas didn't even give him a score. They're like, nah, we can't even give this a score. This is too much for us. So you know what? I thought this was good. This was some good knowledge to have because I was like, oh shit. These niggas out here doing some old freaky shit. So, they, you know what I mean, the score, they didn't really like it. So, them critics. But the people gave it a 93%. I agree with the people because, god damn, this shit was like, it wasn't good what was happening. But it was like, this was a good documentary to be like, damn, this informed me on some shit that I already thought what was already going on. But this just like sealed the deal and it just showed like, god damn, this shit real as Alright, this came out May 11th, 2022. So this recently came out, you feel me? This was directed by Lucy Jordan. You feel me? Hey, kudos to you with your directing this shit. This kept me intrigued. You get the hand claps, bro. This shit out there. This shit out there, you feel me? Like I said, this was a documentary about a fertility doctor who was inseminating women with his own semen, skeeterooskies, without their consent. So, it was this white dude, damn, what was the doctor name? We don't call a nigga Dr. Skeet. I forgot the nigga name. He was an older white dude. He was a Christian, all into that Christianity shit or whatever. And essentially, he the reason why a lot of people went to this doctor, because back then there wasn't really a lot of social media and shit like that. This was like in the 90s. You feel me? It was like early 90s. So it wasn't a lot of social media and shit. But it was like, you know, magazines and that's what the social media was back then, was magazines and stuff. So he was in all types of magazines and stuff, and people were like, he must be the best fertility doctor ever. Damn, we have to go to bruh. So this was in some town in like Illinois or some shit like that, you feel me? And hell of people was going to him and stuff like that. And then what happened was either the women husbands or whoever their significant other, their sperm count was either low or her eggs wasn't, you know, right or whatever. So they went to the fertility doctor. And the fertility doctor's supposed to take either a donor's sperm, so it's supposed to be just a donor that's that you're not supposed to know. It's supposed to be anonymous. And there's not supposed to be more than, within that one donor, supposed to be more than like 3 siblings within that. So it's supposed to be either that or either the person that they're either married to or their boyfriend or whatever take their sperm and inseminate it into the woman's eggs, and so they can have a baby. So what this crazy cocksucker was doing was he was taking his own sperm. What? And the theory was that he was having the women up in the leg thing and doing shit, and he would go in the back room and boom, he was beating his little meat, splooging the cup, and he would inseminate the women with his own sperm.
Jesus Christ.
Devastating. Up a lot of families. And why this came about was because the offsprings of these people start, like, you know, 23andMe came around. And they, like, you know, one woman was like, you know, I knew I was different than my family because I had blue eyes and blonde hair. and the rest of my family had dark eyes and dark hair. So she wanted to find out who her father was, because she didn't think the person that raised her was her father, and she wanted to find out she had other siblings. And that's how this whole shit started off. And literally, it just was a giggity rabbit hole. And it started showing like that she had like 10 other siblings, and then she reached out to a person, and that sibling was like, nah, this ain't true. And then they did the whole DNA test and stuff like that, and they found out. They were like, wait a minute, my mom went to the same doctor. Dr. Clean was this bitch ass nigga name. Dr. Clean. This nigga, man. And they were like, oh, and then they start finding out that like, oh, my mom went to the same doctor. Then it came about that this nigga was using his own sperm to inseminate these women. And his excuse for using the shit was like, oh, I couldn't find donors, so I didn't want to disappoint these people for having a baby. And it was like, what, nigga? What? You think they want your ugly ass? Is that what? This nigga had all types of health problems. This nigga was sloppy looking. And now the kids got all these health problems and shit and stuff like that. And it fucked up a lot of kids' identities. These motherfuckers. One woman was 47 years old and found out about this shit. And it devastated her. Because the man that she looked up to and was a great man in her eyes ended up not being her daddy. That shit is fucked up, bruh. But one of his excuses was that. Another excuse he came up with was essentially he was like using Christianity and the Bible and saying like, I was doing God's work. You feel me? I'm here for the Lord. And you know what that sound familiar to? Slave owners.
Message.
These motherfucking politicians at times using the Bible and Christianity to push their bullshit agenda. Then I was like, all right, it will start getting more. And then what happened was the woman went to this chick that's like well known in the news world, and she does like News 59. I don't know, one of them well known channels in the Midwest somewhere. And like she went to her because the chick went all around at every station and called she called the national, I don't know, there's a bunch of news shit where like she thought people were going to pick this story up, and nobody was picking this up. She was getting a silent treatment. She was getting a runaround. She was not getting respected. And then she sent it to this woman, and this woman was getting the same treatment. She was well known in the news world and was getting the same treatment as the woman that was the daughter of this the Klein doctor that nobody knew. They were trying to bury the story, but then it started getting more and more out, and more siblings was being found out, and more people. Then they had like a sit down with the whole doctor and shit. First of all, the doctor didn't get no jail time. All he got hit was 2 felony counts for basically lying to the court. One thing was the R. I'm gonna say the R word because you know YouTube might kick your shit off if you use the R word. So the R word was in question because you would think like it isn't these women consent, and he's inseminating with his sperm, and they were saying like he might have done a sexual act, like you feel me? But I don't know because like he could have done the shit at home and brought his sperm from home, briefcase full of sperm. I don't know, but they were saying that, and essentially the district attorney or whatever, or the general attorney, whatever, this nigga was basically saying that he can't charge him with the R word because there was no act of it. Like there's no act of that at all, even though there's no consent of him having his sperm in him. They gave consent to have sperm in them, essentially. What? I know it sounds crazy, right? I sound wild as right now. What? Nigga, what? Yeah. So couldn't get him on that. Couldn't get him on any other charge but him. 2 counts of him basically lying to the state about him using his own semen to impregnate these women. 2 counts. And basically he got no jail time. All he got was a $500 fine. $500!
Jesus Christ.
That's it. And 2 felony counts on his record. You think this motherfucker gonna care about any felony counts? The motherfucker was like 85. The nigga was 1 foot in the grave. He don't give a about none of that bullshit. This nigga basically got away with murder, essentially. And then devastated all that. And then like what brings in the replacement theory was because I was watching this shit and I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right. This nigga, there's gonna be a black family in there in a minute, huh? And then I seen it, the count got up to like 30 something siblings. I'm like, wait a minute. They all white. Oh, this nigga trying to repopulate the white race by his damn self. God damn. This nigga trying to do it himself. He like, you know what? I'm doing God's work. I'm about to repopulate the white race on my goddamn own. Replacement theory. God damn. And it was true. Because then the kids is like thinking of theories of why this nigga did it. Because he didn't tell them nothing. He literally was just like, yeah, I did it. I don't feel sorry for it. I just felt like I was doing God's work. And that was one of the things that popped in the head. Was like, well, this replacement theory is happening and they like white people are feeling scared that they might get eradicated from the race through like, reproducing and stuff. But we don't know because he didn't say nothing. But that was in question. That was one of the things that people thought, or like the kids thought, was his reasoning. And then there was no black people at all. No Spanish people, no Asian people. All white, blue hair, blonde eyes.
What?
I said blue hair, blonde eyes. Y'all know what the hell I meant. God damn. Wow. Yo, Dr. Clean, bruh. This nigga wildin'. But yeah. He was just, it seemed like he was on a mission. And he fucked up a lot of people, like, lives and shit. And like the husbands, how do they think, bro? Like these niggas are raising a kid that they think that there is their own. And it ends up not being theirs, bruh. You fucked up their bloodline. These niggas were old as fuck. You think they gonna have another baby? Their kids were grown. Now their bloodline is no more. Nigga, you is the replacement theory. You fucking it up. And what's also fucked up is like, this was all in one small little community. And the thing about it, these kids gotta know, because it's like, what if they dated their own brother, their own sister? Hell, what if they had sex with them? They gotta know, bruh. Like, this shit could be really eerie. This could be fucked up. It could mentally fuck up a lot of people, which it did. And another thing also about it was like, Dr. Clean didn't get a lot of flack because he was so well known in the community as a good person. So a lot of people were like, I can't believe it. No way. He had there's a judge that wrote a letter on his behalf in the fucking court, bruh. This nigga had pull. He had all the pull. That's the reason why he probably only got a $500 fine and 2 felony counts. It's like 6-degree felony counts. Yeah, there's degrees to this shit, and that was the lowest degree of the shit. Shit, wow, bro. And then I was thinking like, all right, bro, he didn't do no more than 50, right? Nigga, at the end of the documentary, y'all want to know how many it said? And they say it was still counting? $94.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. 94. 94! The nigga had 94 kids! God damn! Not including his own, he had 2 kids of his own from his own wife, nigga. And that's another thing he was saying. He was like, hey, you could tell anybody, just don't get it out on TV, because, you know, this is going to ruin my marriage and ruin my life and my family and shit. What? The nerve of this nigga. Man. This was a wild documentary, though. This was such a wild documentary. And it just showed how, like, you know, the fertility niggas is like, it's always in the back of your head, like, yo, it's probably some freaky ass niggas out there that's fertility doctors that's like using their shit to inseminate women. And it was like, yeah, bro. They said it was 44 other doctors out there that did this shit. Dr. Clean was just the most known. He was like the Michael Jordan of using his semen to inseminate women without their consent, essentially. That's how they put it. So I was like, bro, this is freaky, bro. This was freaky as fuck, man. God damn, that nigga Dr. Clean, bro. It's just like, this is spooky as hell. And like, it's still counting. So like, there's probably so many more kids he done did, so many more women that he fucked over. And this should be the R word. This nigga should have went to jail. But at the end of the day, bro, if you got the complexion for protection, bro, if you got the privilege to make shit move, man, shit, you gonna, even if it's your own kind. Look how they do their own kind.
Message!
Think about it, bro. And he thought he was doing a good deed. He thought he was doing the Lord's work. See how they do that bullshit? Man, once again, man, this documentary was wild, bro. This was Our Father on Netflix. Once again, I don't encourage you, discourage you. I'm gonna make up a new word. Encourage you, decourage you, or, you know, from watching any film, show, or album and stuff like that. I just give my opinion on it. And if you fuck with it, cool. If you, BAM! All the hell well. You feel me? On that note, man, Our Father. Ain't my father. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Your kinky ass. God damn, you freaky bitch. Freaky toad.